Hello and welcome. This is Dallin here with Developer Insight, and today we're going to be going through Elixir. This series is going to be going through the guide that Elixir provides and just kind of looking into it together. Elixir is a pretty new language. It was started by Jose Valim, I think is how you pronounce it, in 2012, so pretty recent. And it was designed for high concurrency and low latency, so it can handle doing a lot of different processes at the same time and doing them very quickly, especially with large data volumes. And on top of that, they also put a lot of focus towards fault tolerance, being able to recover and continue on effectively and have good clean code. This makes it ideal for banking and e-commerce, and it makes it very good with high scalable applications. This includes websites that have heavy traffic or high transaction environments. This was influenced by Clojure, Erlang, and Ruby, and so it's got that functional feel, and it is actually built on top of Erlang. And what I mean by built on top of, I guess it's not completely true, but it compiles to bytecode that goes to the Erlang VM, which is Beam. And so Erlang functions can actually be called from Elixir and vice versa. So it's actually pretty cool to be able to interact with an existing language there. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go over to elixirlang.org and we'll hop over to the install page. And they've got a section, whether you're on Mac or Linux or Windows, to go ahead and install accordingly. I'm on Windows right now, so I'm going to go ahead and install right here. Download the installer, and when you're done, you're just going to click next a couple times. But make sure, regardless of what environment you're in, that you, as it explains here at the bottom, you add it to your path. And I'm going to actually help some people out on Windows. If you're not familiar, you're going to want to type in environment variables in your search bar at the bottom, and you'll see it right here. And you click on environment variables, you go to the path, and you're going to want to edit that path, and you're going to want to add Erl bin, the program files, Erl, and your version with the binaries, as well as the Elixir binaries inside of the x86 program files. Alright, so once you guys have that all added to your paths and it's available, we can go ahead and hop into a terminal. So I'm going to start up a new terminal here, and let's just make sure that it's working by running Elixir and then version. And there we go, you can see my Erlang version, the Elixir version right there. And so let's get started with the command. It gives us one called IEX. And what that it stands for is Interactive Elixir. And that allows us to run in an interactive console Elixir scripts. So let's go ahead and just test it out with like some simple math problems. Plus 2, 23 plus 2 is 25, there we go. And we can also test out some strings. There we go, we got our hello world printing out. And in order to get out of this interactive console, you just hit Control-C twice, and that'll stop it right there. Elixir actually gives us 3 executables out of the box. You have the IEX, which we've already tested out. You've also got the Elixir command, which is very similar to IEX, except for that you give it a file argument, and then it's going to execute and then close out. So it's going to treat it kind of like IEX, except for that you can provide it with the full script beforehand. And then the final one is Elixir C, which is the Elixir compiler. And so we can go ahead and test that out now. Let's make a new file. We can just call it test.exs. Alright. And one important thing is that regardless of what environment or what IDE you're using, it's good to go ahead and look for extensions. So if we look for Elixir here, I already have it pulled up. We can go ahead and install Elixir ls, and that's going to give us some auto-completion and syntax highlighting. So with that, let's go ahead and just write a program. So it's doing some auto-completion for us there, and we can write hello world from a file. And we go ahead and save that, and to run it, we'll just use that Elixir command we talked about a second ago. And there we go, hello world from a file. So that's all for an introduction today, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.